Me, right? I'll get
Yeah. Oh, it was you who did that.
forgot to text it. Board of Education meeting.
Mrs. Costick,
Here.
Mr. Claus,
Here.
Mrs. McConnell, Mr. Murphy,
Here.
Dr. Rankin, Wilson,
Here.
President Ross.
Here.
We have 5 present.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance. A nation. Thank you. Are there any announcements?
Yes, President Ross.
Yes,
I have
sir.
2. Boundary waivers. Boundary waiver applications are open until January 27th. Check the front page of the district website or head to tinyurl.com/PPS boundary to apply. Second announcement, basketball jamboree. There will be a middle school boys basketball jamboree this Saturday at Woodruff. Come support our middle schoolers as they play against teams across the school district.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Franklin.
Lescott and Knoxville Center students will return to school next Wednesday, January 18th, and all schools and offices will be closed next Monday, January 16th for MLK Junior Day.
Thank you. Ms. Costick?
Report cards, Semester 1 report cards will be sent home this Friday, January the 13th. Grades can also be viewed in Skyward, so please be on the lookout. Thank you.
Vice President.
Thank you. I have 2 announcements. 1, field trip. Good luck and safe travels to all high schoolers and chaperones headed to Puerto Rico this week. The grant-funded field trip is a wonderful opportunity to be immersed in a different culture and practice the Spanish language with native speakers. My second announcement, the 365 breakfast. This Thursday, January 12th, the PPS Foundation will host their 8th annual 365 breakfast with a curbside breakfast pickup from Hy-Vee and a limited in-person VIP program that will also be streamed live at 10 a.m. on their Facebook page. The goal of this breakfast is to raise at least $50,000 to provide support for PPS Foundation programs that directly impact Peoria Public Schools. Order breakfast for pickup from 7 to 8:30 a.m. and donate to the PPS Foundation. And that is all. Thanks.
Thank you. And I have one. First day back. We are looking forward to welcoming students back to school tomorrow, January 10th. Make sure your student is on time and ready to learn. District presentations. Dr. Jerry Bell, you want to talk about the speech tournament update rather?
President Ross, Vice President Murphy, school board members, and Dr. Karat. As the executive director of middle schools, I've witnessed firsthand the tremendous work and outstanding growth of students participating in the district's speech program. Specifically, I am happy to report, based on their performances during the 2 speech tournaments held thus far this school year, 6 of the students have been invited to participate in the California Mardi Gras tournament on January 28th. Those 6 students in their schools are Asher Moore, Lincoln; Remedy Collins, Annie Jo Gordon; Antonio Schwab, Sterling; Antoine Alexander, Elise Ford Allen; Marcus Robinson, Elise Ford Allen; and Jennifer Huerta, Annie Jo Gordon. Before I ask the district speech director, Ms. Mariela Garcia Alvarado, to join me here at the podium, please join me in congratulating these fantastic students on their accomplishments. All right. Ms. Garcia Alvarado, please join me and share some of the exciting opportunities that await our students during their participation in this month's speech tournament in Santa Ana, California. Ms. Garcia Alvarado.
Hello, everyone. We are so happy to partner with you, and Advantage Communications is going to invite those 6 students to California, where we will be visiting a beach. We will also be giving them some good taste of Mexican food out there, and we will also be participating in the California tournament. To give you an idea of how big this tournament is, this is bigger than the national tournament that the NSDA holds. So it's going to be an incredible opportunity for us to show everybody what Peoria is made of, and I can guarantee you we'll come back with some championships. Can you call? Yes, absolutely. So first we have Remedy Collins from Annie Jo Gordon. Next we have Antonio Schwab from Sterling. Next, we have Jennifer Huerta from Annie Jo Gordon. We also have Asher Moore from Lincoln. The other 2 students could not join us, but they're just as excited to go to the tournament, and we will be talking to them and their parents this Friday for more information.
Thank you. Are the parents present? Would you please stand? Thank you.
Let's get a picture. Thank you, President Ross.
Thank you. Is that the only presentation?
They can leave if they see.
Okay, well, we'll give you a moment. If you'd like to leave, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the board meeting, but if you'd like to leave, We know that people are busy. In the meantime, I'd like to recognize the two schools and the bulletin boards here. Sterling is the 21st century. Let's connect, it looks like. And then also WCTC, credentials. So beautiful renditions of the school.
Congratulations to our students and good luck in Santa Ana.
Yes. You need chaperones?
I'll be a chaperone.
They were asking to be chaperones for the Puerto Rico trip.
I know. And we never get
Okay. So next on our agenda is presentation by audience. Any audience member that has filled out a card can speak to the board and public. You have 5 minutes and no more than 20 minutes on any one subject. And the first person on the list is look like Caitlin Hale.
Hello, Dr. Crott and board members. I'm Caitlin Hale. I've been here before. Nice to see you all again. Just an update, things have gotten better at Maude Sanders. We're really, really grateful for the community members who have reached out and helped us. We can breathe. We can breathe, thank goodness. On another note, I've been keeping current with the hearing regarding Martha Ross's signatures for the election ballot. I know that they were challenged but disregarded because the challenger resides in District 2 instead of District 1. I'm sure that you have heard that Ms. Ross used the signatures of 4 confirmed deceased people. I don't know everything about the application and petition process to be included on the ballot, but I am confused on how Ms. Ross could still submit the paperwork without consciously knowing that those 4 signatures that physically could not be signed since the signers were deceased were on her petition. WCBU posted an article stating where Ms. Ross stated that she believes the signature of one of the signers was forged, quote, in order to make her look bad, unquote, by someone who wanted to sabotage her campaign. Even if that is the case, what is the explanation for the other 3 signatures of the other 3 deceased people? Something doesn't seem right or fair with this, and I would appreciate more information on what is happening with this situation. We need honesty and transparency within the school board. That is what we want to see and expect as values instilled in our children, so please help us make sure that our leadership is exhibiting those same qualities. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is Mr. Daniel Walters.
Good evening, Madam President and the board. My name is Dan Walther, former board member, and I also discussing an issue you had, I think at the last board meeting, there was the resignation of the building and grounds manager. I believe he was forced to resign. And one of the things I don't think he was given credit enough for was that I was on the Building and Grounds Committee with him, and he and Mr. Willis over a number of years have saved this district tens of thousands of dollars because they managed millions of dollars of projects that came in time and under budget. But one of the things that that gentleman did was that he recommended the dismissal of an employee in the district. And instead of that employee being disciplined, this guy is gone now. It's it. This employee, by the way, all he did was there was a sexual harassment charge filed against him. The person followed protocol. It was investigated by Dr. Ike, and they found that it was valuable. What the information was accurate. Did anything happen to this person? Nope, nothing happened to him. Why? Because he told people he had a friend on the board who protected him, and that was true. Nothing happened to him. At the same place, the gentleman had a confrontation with another employee in which he threatened to kill her husband. He brought firearms to the school, and it was verified that that did happen. Was he disciplined? Not only was he not disciplined, he was transferred to another school. He was transferred to an elementary school because the district did not want to put him in a middle school or a high school. In fact, the employee at that school had to get an order of protection to go to work because she felt so threatened by this employee. I also have been to several of the election commission meetings, and the young lady kind of stole some of my thunder, but the reality is there was at the meetings, both the challenger candidate and Mrs. Ross had a huge number of discrepancies. The challenger, however, had a person who took the information down and submitted it to the board, made some errors, and she was disqualified because she was 11 signatures short of being on the ballot. While Mrs. Ross had a number of those, including a signature of folks, dead folks, who she collected. See, the problem is, those of you who are on the board, we've knocked at doors, we've done this stuff. When you go to a door and you knock on a door, that person's usually alive, or that person usually lives there. There were a whole number of addresses that weren't part of this either. So that became an issue. None of that was able to be presented to the board and for them to vote on it because the person who signed the objection, and this commission took the narrowest interpretation that they could, that you had to live in District 1 to file an objection. I find that incredible. All of you here live in a district other than 1, and you can't object to that. Even if you had a board member who had dead people sign her petition, who had people cheat on that stuff with it, she's on the board. And on this ballot, it will be Mrs. Ross, and the other person's going to have to do a write-in. I think it's an unfortunate time for this district to have that kind of leadership that we have with it. And so I hope everybody does get out and vote. Obviously, none of you can vote up or down, nor myself, but it's a really, I think, embarrassing and difficult time for this district. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next is Ms. Lynn Fingerhut.
Good evening, Dr. Karat and board. I'm also coming to echo some concerns. I'm a parent of two kids in District 150 at 2 different schools. We've been in the public school since 2018. And honestly, I didn't start paying attention much to school board meetings or school boards going on until the pandemic. Till 2020, I started watching every single meeting, mostly online, sometimes in person, and just kind of watched how things unfolded. And I've seen a pattern that's pretty concerning. There's been some really great things that have come up and some great things happening in our district. But there's also a pattern of school board members seeming to not listen, not respond. There's a couple of them that are excellent, a few. I've definitely gotten some responses from school board members, but I was very passionate about that calendar, that school calendar. I did not like it. I still do not like it. I understand that's not everybody's position on that, but there was no staff, student, parent, or community support for that calendar, and it went through. I don't understand the interventionist and coach issue particularly. I'm not a teacher, but what I heard were teachers over and over coming up and saying, we need those interventionists, we need those coaches. It was a very passionate issue for the teachers, and I support what the teachers want. They know what's going on, and I heard the board passing that through anyway. Interventionists and coaches have continued to be an issue. We don't have enough teachers, positions aren't being posted, and again, we're not hearing much from the board about that. Generally, again, there are some that do. And now we've got this issue with the possibly fraudulent signatures of a longtime board member who's run many times for this office and others and knows the process of signature, obtaining signatures in this community. It concerns me that we need board members who want to do this job, and I understand it's a volunteer position. It's a lot of work. It's time out of your schedule, and you have to be very committed to do that. I appreciate your time, but we want people who want to do this job, who want to be here, who can get the signatures, who can put in the time, and who can listen to us and respond, even if they disagree with what parents are saying, teachers are saying, community members. It's a pattern that I find concerning, and I think that our students and our community deserve school board members who really want to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is, it looks like Dornicia Hunter. Did I say that correctly?
No, ma'am, it's pronounced Bernicia.
Dornicia?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Hello, Dr. Karat, President Ross, and all of you all. I am Dornicia Hunter. I am a parent of 3 godchildren and 3 children who are now in District 150 and others whom have graduated and who are now either in college or pursuing other careers. I did not formally prepare anything, but I'm just going to get to the point and not to be repetitive. Just as someone else mentioned, I don't have all the details, but I have all the right ones that matter. The problem at hand, from my understanding, is you, President Ross, in the issue of a petition, excuse me, that is questionable, without doubt. I'm just going to give it to you plain and not to be grossly disrespectful, but I can only imagine if I was deceased, or if you, President Ross, was deceased, or if you, Dr. Karat, was deceased, or if the board attorney was deceased, and someone put your name on a piece of paper while you were dead and your grave is supposed to be resting, or cremated, or whatever you're going on. What I'm getting at is, it's not right. It is the integrity, the dignity is all lacking. And to have others around you in these positions, whether they're voluntary or not, support that behavior, causes me to doubt the potential of this district. I won't take this time to share a lot of personal experiences, but it goes really deep for me. So ultimately, just as the young lady mentioned before me, it may not be a paid position, but all the same, if you want to be in it, then the expectation is to do what it is that we're expecting you to do. And that is to lead with integrity, dignity, and respect, and actual care for those that you are claiming to represent, and those are our children. Further beyond that, to take feelings out of it, I'm really curious in regards to what the law and or policy reads. I have not had the opportunity to familiarize myself, and whether or not this is the place where this can be like a Q&A, I'm not certain. But if it was, as I was sitting there, I saw a board attorney. What does that say about those deceased people's signatures? That can be justified. Her signature is on it. And anything you sign your name to, you agree to what you're looking at. It can't be excused. So ultimately, my purpose of coming here is to just be a voice for those that wanted to be here, afraid to be here, or just don't have the confidence to challenge people in positions of authority. It's to really, you're not in that seat rightfully. Give someone else a chance. And so I'm gonna do everything I can, whether it's an email, speaking, knocking at a door, which I've done before, to support Ms. Alexander, and everything I can to have you removed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is any response to audience presentation? None? I don't see how you could.
Yeah, thank you, President Ross. As always, we encourage our taxpayers and our constituents to come and show up and share their views, their observation, and their thoughts and ideas with us. We listen and we take those into consideration. Some we have no control over, and some we do. So, yeah, I try to respond to individuals, everyone who emailed me. So, but again, I think the message is thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule at this hour to share with us your thoughts and ideas. Thank you, President Ross.
Next on the agenda is approval of minutes from November 28th and December 12th. May I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved in second. Is there any discussion on the minutes? If none, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Claus?
Aye.
Mrs. McConnell?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Dr. Ranking? Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
President Ross?
Aye.
We have 6 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is information items, superintendent's update. haven't been told anything.
Thank you, President Ross. I just wanted to share all the accomplishments that the team, everyone, the entire district, board members, and even community members were instrumental in the progress that we're making. So thank you. And thank you, Halima, for putting another nice video together. You always do a really nice job with that. Thanks. And while we're thinking of our buildings, Board, I wanted to share with you that we've lost another teacher, Christine Hickman. She passed away peacefully after a long battle with MS and cancer. She taught for us for 14 years at Peoria Public Schools, and she taught at Trewin Middle School, Lindbergh, which is Liberty right now, and Manual High. So her last assignment was at Manual. So we continue to think of her and her families. So maybe if we can conduct a moment of silence for her, that would be great. She was so crazily loved by the kids at Manual. Thank you. And then the other quick update is parents, if you're listening, and those out in the listening audience, e-learning is an option. And so if we do have inclement weather and it's like really, really bad outside, you may be hearing from the district and from your child's school about really the e-learning idea is doing school at home and with their teachers. And the plans, each building and each classroom should have that plan on the website, your kids' website. So feel free to take a look at those, and hopefully you've heard about it. And if not, feel free to ask your child's teacher or the child's principal, or email any one of us, and we'll provide additional information. But just FYI, keep it in your back pocket. If we have to use it, it won't be a surprise for you. Hopefully we don't, but if we do, you will be notified, social media and the news, and also through your child's principal. So I think those were the few announcements, the update, celebrating the life of our amazing teacher, Ms. Hickman, and then just a quick update about, I know it's January, I think we might get some additional snow, unfortunately, but this is the time of year. So I just wanted you to keep it in mind. We do have a plan in case it's inclement and really bad. Thank you.
Just to follow up on
Thank
something
you.
that you had, and really it's to Halima. That video was really well done, and what I really liked about it was it really showcased what Peoria Public Schools diversity looks like. Diversity comes in many different images, and it's not just a color thing, it's not just a gender thing, and it's not just a sport versus this type of thing. And what that showcased, just a little sample of what all we offer and how we do it so well and beautifully. And so I just want to say thank you for showing the video, but really thank you to all of the faculty and the students and the families of those students who allow their children to participate in those activities, and that we're able to showcase them. So thank you.
And I forgot the J1. You want to say something about that? Thank you.
Yeah. Also, I had the privilege, along with President Ross, to meet the new teachers that came in on the J1 visas on the other day, and it was really remarkable listening to them share their stories of why they wanted to be in this program and why they wanted to come to Peoria Public Schools. And there were two things that really kind of stuck with, I think, President Ross and I. One was just the amount of years each of these teachers brings to the table for our students. I think that the shortest amount of time one of the teachers has been a teacher was 7 years, and it goes all the way up into the teens of how long these teachers have been teaching. And their passion and their ethics on trying to promote what we're trying to promote here and the curriculum that we promote was just really great to hear their attitude towards everything. They're getting a real world training and picture of what it's going to be like when they get into the schools in Peoria Public Schools, and they're ready to meet those exciting opportunities and challenges. So we're really excited to have them. And the other thing that was really cool about hearing was that when they finally found out that they were going to be accepted into the program here at Peoria Public Schools, they actually started going online and watching our board meetings streamed live. So if they're watching tonight, welcome, and we're happy to have you here in Peoria. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to apologize. It looks like we had a card stuck to another card. Go back to audience presentation. The last name is Montgomery. Could you come up and tell us what your full name? Angelina?
Angelina.
Okay, all right. Miss
Hello.
Montgomery, sorry about that. We'll just,
That's
5
okay.
minutes.
All right, thank you for seeing me tonight, everyone. I am not a public speaker, so excuse me, I'm a little bit nervous, but I am a concerned parent. My child attends Von Steuben Middle School. This is her first year in middle school, and it has not been a great start in the 7th grade because we homeschooled those 2 years. But the incident that happened to her on December 13th with a teacher, Miss Goldring, she was followed into a bathroom, asked what was on her person, and then asked to empty her pocket. She was asked multiple times to lift her shirt. My daughter said she did not feel comfortable and refused to do that. She was then asked to unzip her jacket. My child was made to feel like she was being sexually harassed in that moment. She informed the teacher that she would tell her mother that she felt this way. The teacher had no verbal response. I was never given a call by this teacher. No report was ever made by this teacher. Nothing was done. Now, again, I said this was December 13th. We're almost a month in. We have spoken to several people about this, starting with the principal, moved on to Dr. Bell, and a couple of other people in between. To no avail. Nobody could help us. The best help we had was from the counselor, Ms. Pittman, and she was giving options to happen right now because my child missed 2 weeks of school, 2 entire weeks of school, because you don't want to put your child back in the position with a predator, correct? Because in her eyes, that's what is happening. It wasn't until we emailed Mr. Wilson, so we do thank you, Mr. Wilson, for taking that email and expediting it to Dr. Karat, who did come in and got us into a virtual math class. So my teacher doesn't have, or so my daughter doesn't have to sit in the math class with this one 7th grade teacher that is at Von Steuben. So we thank you, Dr. Karat, for that. But my child isn't being protected here. She's not been heard. They took a written statement from her. She has been made to feel like, I'm sorry, this is where I get emotional, because the mental decline that she has gone through over these past couple of weeks to be made to feel like she has done something wrong. Again, I said she missed 2 weeks of school. This is the child that loves to go to school. This is your straight A student. This is the good kid, right? But she is being made to feel like she has done something wrong. My greatest fear as a parent is now my child, if something else were to happen to her by anybody else, will she come and tell me? Will she let me know, or will she fear that she will be in trouble for telling, right? She missed out on fun activities at school. The entire Christmas celebrations and everything else, her friends, all of it. She missed it for 2 weeks, and that teacher got to stay in her classroom. And the last meeting we had, the teacher came in with bells on while my child was sitting at home in her room crying. Sorry. We teach all of my children to follow policy. When my child would say, they made me turn my sweatshirt inside out, we told my child that's policy. You should not have wore the sweatshirt. We tell her to follow policy. But the teacher doesn't have to follow policy. Again, there was no call made home. There was no report written. If you are going to search someone, and trust me, I've been told 3 million times, search means you have to physically touch somebody, right? That's what everybody's definition is. But if I come to either one of you, or somebody in authority over you comes to you and asks you to lift your shirt, what is going to be your response? You are going to tell them no, look at them crazy, and file some kind of report. Her earbuds that were in her zipped up pocket were confiscated. Again, no report. But the earbuds are on the school supply list. I'm confused. Can they have them? Can they not have? Are they supposed to have them? Very confused about it. I would like some clarification. I asked for a policy over search and seizure, December 13th. I didn't get it until Dr. Karat sent it to me 2 days ago, 3 days ago at this point. We looked up our own policy on District 150's website. A meeting was set up by Dr. Bell with the principal, the teacher, the counselor, and was supposed to be security as well. Is my 5 minutes up? Is that what that means? All right. So I don't know. I would just like some follow through with this.
Okay, were you just about done?
Sure. No, I wasn't, but I can come back next time.
I was going to poll the board to see if, you could take a couple more minutes, if you like. Okay. The two board members on the online, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Go ahead, finish.
Sorry, I've never heard that alarm before. Never
It's
done
okay.
this before. I don't know. It's frustrating. I'm frustrated. I don't feel like I have been heard. We have worked tirelessly on this. We have been told that we're looking at it from a parent perspective. I'm not sure what other perspective we're supposed to look at it from. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And I do know if my boss came to me and asked me to lift my shirt, I would feel some type of way, and every adult in here would as well. I just don't feel like my child is being protected. Her moving her class should not be the answer. the teacher should be moved. It's not my child's fault there's only one seventh grade teacher at Von Steuben. Oh, that's where I was, the meeting that was set up by Dr. Bell. Dr. Bell set up a meeting and it was supposed to be principal, security, counselor, this teacher. Dr. Bell did not show up. And he was told by the principal, if he chooses to show up, he can, and if he doesn't want to, that's okay too. It was not okay. He set the meeting up. We were looking at him to help us and guide us through this. We were told by the liaison of the teacher that was there that Dr. Bell could have made the decision at the time to put her into a math class, but he wasn't there. Then we were denied the virtual math class, so this is why my child missed 2 weeks of school. We were denied the math class until, again, Dr. Karat came in. But again, that's the bare minimum.
Okay.
And we need help, we need answers, we need guidance. I've looked at the policy. It doesn't make sense to me that this teacher has more protection than a 12-year-old girl. That's what doesn't, because that's what we've been told. We've been told she will not be let go because she is the only seventh grade teacher and she has a good reputation as a teacher. My child has a good a reputation as a seventh grader. What does that mean? If she breaks policy, she is punished, right? And we expect that for the teacher as well.
Thank
And
you.
that'll be all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and respond a little, Ms. Ross. I mean, this is a perfect example we heard when parents,
Students, so
pardon me?
this was about students, that's why we extended it.
So actually, when I got, Ms. Montgomery, when I got the email from Mr. Wilson, I was actually on vacation, and it just so happened but I always respond even during vacation. I told him, no worries, I'll be back on Thursday. I'll contact the parents, and I did. And there's not a lot we can divulge, but at some point, it's, it goes to an HR issue. But what I was concerned about was your baby and really problem solving with you. How would you like me to assist? And you gave me some ideas. I had some ideas, but I wanted to ensure that I was listening and ensuring that, that it was a bitter experience and we had to move on and what can I do to help? So we had many emails back and forth. You got some assurances. And if you still need me, you have my information. Continue to communicate with me, please. Okay? Thank you. But I was very happy to help.
Thank you.
And as I said, thank you.
Okay, so we'll go back to the financial update. Mr. Willis?
Year-to-date revenue totaled 121,000, or 121.5 million. Year-to-date expenses are 120.1 million. So far, for the fiscal year, revenue is running slightly ahead of our expenses, and both revenue and expenses are running about 40% of budget, which we typically expect. Most of our expenditures are back-end loaded. Revenue and expenditures both tend to gear up second half of the year as opposed to the first half of the year. So right now, in terms of finances, we are seeing what we expect to see in terms of revenue and expenses, and we'll continue to monitor things and keep you updated.
Thank you. Any questions of Mr. Willis on the financial report? Thank you. Proposed expenditures over $2,500. Anyone have any questions of Mr. Willis on that? Report of request under the Freedom of Information Act and the status of such report.
Thank you, President Ross. Since our board meeting reports on December 12th, we have received 5 new requests. Of these new requests, three have been closed, and there was 1 pending request noted on December 12th. Of those, 0 requests remain open. So there are currently 2 requests currently open, and the total cost of compiling and copying and preparing these requests, the total amount is $2,650. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda. Vice President Murphy.
Thank you, President Ross. Number 1, gifts to school district, year-to-date, $78,074.42. Number 2, payment of bills. Number 3, payment for travel. Number 4, human resource report. Number 5, Charter Oak HVAC upgrade project. Number 6, Mark Bill's HVAC upgrade project. And number 7, Tree Wind K-8 school 8th grade class field trip. And that is all to the consent agenda.
Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second? Thank you. Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Claus?
Aye.
Mrs. McConnell?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
President Ross?
Aye.
We have 6 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is number 8, the deliberation agenda. And expulsions with the expulsions held in abeyance. Mr. Wilson, are you going to be making that?
Yes, proposed action that the Board of Education approve expulsion of the abeyance listed on 2023 be approved.
Is there a second?
Second. Do you need a motion? I'm sorry, what was that?
He's made the motion.
He's made the second. Yep.
Any comments or questions? Okay. Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Costick? Mr. Claus?
Aye.
Mrs. McConnell?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
President Ross?
Aye.
We have 6 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. Presentations and suggestions by board members. Presentations or suggestions by board members? Board members? Dr. Karat, you had something?
Well, actually, I was going to give a quick update, and then we found Mrs. Montgomery's card, so I'll just
Did I miss your update?
no, just a quick the international teachers.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to add something
Okay.
to our listening audience and the public. We're really excited, and you were there during the orientation, and Vice President Murphy was there as well. But to date, last week, we received 10 teachers from the Caribbean and Africa. So 7 of them came from Guyana, 2 from Jamaica, and 1 from Cameroon. So we're very, very excited. They all have their buildings. Today was a professional development day, so they were in their buildings. They got to meet their principals and their peers. And we're expecting probably between now and August, maybe another 20 or so more to come. As Ms. Ross, President Ross, as you said, they're very excited. They're very excited to serve our kids, no matter who they are, where they're coming from, and they're highly experienced. So we're very excited about that. So I just kind of wanted to
Yeah.
tell them that it was 10, and We have more coming from Nigeria, more from Jamaica, and more from Guyana. They're waiting on their visas and passports, but it's a big deal for PPS for sure. So thank you.
Right, you know, you didn't add that some of them brought their kids with them, so we have some more students in our district as well.
Yes, I know there are a couple at Annie Joe, and they want their kids with them.
One at
So,
Ridgewoods, I think.
and Elise Fort Allen. So, yep, they're bringing their kids with them as well, which is great.
Okay, we look forward to the new ones that are coming. And no presentations or other suggestions by board members or administration? Report from board committees.
Building and Grounds Committee will meet on January the 20th, which is a Friday at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you. Any other committee meetings already scheduled?
Policy Committee will meet again on January 18th.
Okay. For the board committees? Someone mentioned something about a game that's on tonight, so. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
He moved, you second? All right. We adjourn.